Hey everybody, so this video, forewarning, is probably the cringiest thing I've ever done, but it has some pretty good information in it, so I hope you enjoy. Check it out. Hey everybody, my name is Lorenzo Quintelja, and today I'll be talking about play. So play is an extensive amount of peer interaction during childhood, and social play is not the only type of play, so today I'll be going over the functions of play and the many different types of play that there are. So play makes important contributions to young children's cognitive and socio-emotional development. So theorists have focused on different aspects of play and have highlighted a long list of functions of play. So according to Freud and Erikson, play helps the child master anxieties and conflicts. Because pent-up tensions are released through play, the child can cope better with life's problems. So children may feel less threatened and be more likely to express their true feelings during play. Play is also an important context for cognitive development. So both Piaget and Vygotsky concluded that play is the child's work. So Piaget maintained that play advances children's cognitive development. At the same time, he said that children's cognitive development constrains the way they play. So Piaget thought that cognitive structures needed to be exercised, and play provides the perfect setting for this exercise. So now I'm just going to be going over the different types of play today. Sensory motor play is behavior that allows infants to derive pleasure from exercising their sensory motor schemes. By the age of 9 months, many infants can select novel objects for exploration and play, such as these cups in the example, especially responsive objects such as toys that make noise or bounce. So in our next example, practice play, this involves the repetition of behavior when new skills are being learned or when physical or mental mastery and coordination of skills are required, such as for games or sports. In this example, this child is juggling, and this may take a lot of practice in order to get it right. So our next style of play is pretense and symbolic play. So this occurs when the child transforms the physical environment into a symbol. So between 9 and 30 months, children increasingly use objects in symbolic play. They learn to transform objects, substituting them for other objects, and acting towards them as if they were these objects. So in this example, this so-called child is using the pom-poms as like some sort of whip for like a carriage of horses, and the chair is basically just a carriage that he's using. And it seems like he's in a pretty intense race right now in his imagination. So in this next example, social play, this play that involves interaction with peers, it increases dramatically during the preschool years. For many children, social play is the main context for their social interactions with peers. Social play includes varied interchanges such as turn talking, conversations about numerous topics, social games and routines, and physical play. In this example, basically these two are having a conversation about numerous topics. So our next example of play is constructive play. So this combines sensory motor practice play with symbolic representation. It occurs when children engage in self-regulated creation of a product or solution. So in this example, this so-called child seems to be building a fort and is using his imagination to create this object. So our next example of play are games. So these activities are engaged for pleasure and have rules. An example would be tag, as seen in this image right here. So those were all the different types of play, and I believe that this was a very important topic in chapter 6, just because of the fact that like a lot of schools nowadays, they're actually getting rid of recess when it's actually a very important part of a child's development. So I really just chose this because I thought it was a big part of my life. I mean, part of being a child is enjoying your early years, and it's important to find time for play, especially in young children's lives. So the next topic I'm going to be talking about is parenting, which is also a very important thing to me, just the parenting styles and how they affect the child's development. So our first example of style of parenting is authoritarian parenting. So this is where a parent would enforce rules rigidly but not explain them and show anger toward the child. Children of authoritarian parents are often unhappy, fearful, and anxious about comparing themselves with others. They also fail to initiate activity and have weak communication skills. Our next example of parenting is neglectful parenting. This is a style in which the parent is uninvolved in the child's life. Children whose parents are neglectful develop the sense that other aspects of the parents' lives are more important than they are. These children tend to be socially incompetent. Many have poor self-control and don't handle independence well. They frequently have low self-esteem and are immature and may be alienated from the family. Indulgent parenting is seen in this example. It's a style in which parents are highly involved with their children but place few demands or controls on them. Such parents let their children do what they want. Some parents deliberately rear their children in this way because they believe the combination of warm involvement and few restraints will produce a creative, confident child. However, children whose parents are indulgent rarely learn respect for others and have difficulty controlling their behavior. Authoritative parenting encourages children to be, but still places limits and controls on their actions. Extensive verbal give and take is allowed, and parents are warm and nurturant toward the children. You know you shouldn't have done that. Let's talk about how you could have handled the situation better next time, would say an authoritative parent. They also expect independent, age-appropriate behavior. So that concludes my video. These were the just topics that I found most important to me. That I think had a big influence on my life. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope it gave you good information. I know it was really cringy, but it did its job. So, thank you.